welcome back. Emmys host Nate Bargatze said he wanted to keep the night silly and fun, and so there was minimal political commentary throughout the show. So which got us thinking, should these shows remain apolitical, sort of escapist, or should they lean into the news of the day, the conversations people are having?
How do you guys feel about it? Last week was a really tough news week. We've had a couple of years where it's been really tough, but last week was particularly tough. And I talked to a lot of people this weekend who are like, I just need to turn off the news because I just need a break from it. I just need a break. And I think shows like last night, the Emmys, really help people just to kind of, divorce themselves from the reality of life. But I also think that while I don't think anybody should be muzzled on a stage when you have a platform, I also have to, I think it's important for us to remember there are people who worked very hard. A large number of people work very hard on these projects that are nominated. And the minute you start talking about the news, well, then you take all of that effort and no one's talking about those people. Like, for example, last night, a 15-year-old boy by the name of Owen Cooper, who was in adolescence, he won and he actually broke a record. He's the youngest male actor to ever win an Emmy for his role as a troubled killer. I want to talk about that. Yeah. I want to talk about this young man who just decided to take drama classes and a few years later he finds himself on the stage. That's who I want to celebrate.
That show itself is so timely and so it's salient to what's going on. Like, there is an opportunity there. I'm not saying it had to be fall on the kid, but like that would have been a perfect time to just acknowledge we're living in really fraught times where you can radicalize someone really, really easily, and let's be aware. Like, I don't think you can separate the content from the politics.
Yeah, but you can't. Here's the deal. I think you can, because what happened last week is not what happened in his show. So I like the conversation that happens around adolescence, and I want that conversation to happen. I want everybody to talk about this young man who took on this role that opened up a conversation in households around the world. I don't want to talk about what happened last week. People need a little bit of a break, and so I'm not shying away from the conversation. And again, I don't want people to be muzzled. If you feel like you want to say something, say something. But I think there's a time and place.
I think the challenge there, and I don't know if this is what you're alluding to or not, the thing is at the Emmys and TV shows and really popular ones is they are often talking about the very groups, communities, topics that is kind of front page news. And so yes, we're talking about disenfranchised, self-radicalized young white men shooting places. Like, that is very timely. You're right. Is it the right time and place? I don't know about that. But last night it sounds like there was a directive. I don't know if it was Nate, the host, or somebody else on high saying, we're keeping politics out of this. And the reason why that bothers me so much, and why I think, if you look at the Emmys, they've always been political. If you were watching the Emmys, whether it was during Black Lives Matter, or whether it was even last year, do you know how many jokes there was made and jabs at J.D. Vance for his childless cat lady? Everybody came for the politicians last year. This year, nothing. And you know what that tells me? That tells me something sinister is going on. I get that escapism is fair. I want to escape too. I do. For me, this is a chill being brought down by the American administration. This is called the beginning of the end of democracy when you are curbing freedom of speech. People aren't talking about it, not because we wanted to escape last night, in my opinion. People are afraid to talk now. That's a difference. Those are two different things. So for me, my fear is I get the escapism, but I don't think that's actually what's going on. And if you look at Stephen Colbert, who some would argue lost his job because of a president who didn't like him, that's one of the theories out there. A very popular one. People were on their feet cheering for him. Why? Because they were like, the guy took you down. And you know why they're also clapping? I also hope he doesn't come for me. There's something else going on down there, and it's really scary, I think.
There was some political stuff, though.
I feel like you guys have brought up such interesting points, and a few things got me thinking, like the idea of adolescence, for example. What if sometimes, instead of a political show, which we know is, they're fun, they're entertaining, is that the right moment to take or vocalize a political stance instead of putting it in the actual show that you're there for? Like, adolescents did an incredibly important political act by just existing. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
By Stephen Graham writing, producing, and starring in it. So the fact that that art is out there, I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes I feel like I like my award shows to handle the politics in the same way that my favorite television and films do, which is subversively. Like, we all know let's be honest, how most people in that room feel about any number of topics. We know.
Yeah.
But the art that they create can be subversive and can, as you say, spark these conversations. We were talking about adolescence far longer after the show aired. And so, I don't know, instead of being chew on the head and having an award show, even the very act of them choosing Nate
Bargatze, this poor man.
Nate
Bargatze, poor Nate.
He's very successful.
Butchering this man's
but
name.
he's also known for being apolitical
Yes.
and very safe. So
And
the very
clean.
act of him choosing him is a political act. Sometimes silence can be political.
Yeah, he doesn't even curse in his act, so I think he was chosen specifically. You're right.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.